All right, good Friday evening. We have got some storms that are going to be headed our way for the weekend. So, second weekend in a row with the potential for severe weather. This time it's mostly going to be south of I-20 in our southern counties, but I would be prepared for it anywhere, especially flash flooding. That's actually really going to be our main threat Saturday night going into Sunday. So here's the storm that is going to be moving through and already producing severe weather over central Texas. Now, we think that parts of Mississippi will get into the warm sector of this frontal system. That's the area between the warm front and the cold front. So if the warm front moves through, then yeah, you're in the warm sector. So at least the southwestern part of Mississippi is going to get into that area by Saturday night. This night, just increasing clouds. No rain tonight, but it's going to be moving in really anytime after lunchtime Saturday. Initially, just the scattered showers. The worst of the weather is going to hold off until about midnight and then through Sunday morning. Right now, we're at 66 degrees. It's going to be a warmer night, only dropping into the mid to upper 50s with the cloud cover and our winds coming in from the south. And it's going to be a breezy day tomorrow. Those winds are going to be gusting in from the southeast up to 25 miles per hour. Limited sun in the morning. The clouds are going to take over. Scattered showers after the lunch hour, so that's why we're not going to see a huge warm-up. Mid-70s in our western counties, upper 70s in the metro, and some low 80s across the Pine Belt. So here's a look at the movement of the storm. Notice the first batch of rain does weaken as it heads eastward, but then ahead of that front, there's that squall line, which is going to develop and then race from west to east across mainly south Mississippi overnight Saturday night. So here's the timing of the rain. Here's that first batch coming in after the lunch hour tomorrow. While there could be a couple of heavier spots of rain, it's not going to be a solid line, and we're not expecting anything severe out of this Saturday afternoon and evening. Then, just before midnight, Saturday night, you see that squall line developing there in Louisiana. That's what's going to be headed in during the overnight hours. So this is going to be an overnight event for us. You're going to need some ways to receive weather warnings in case you're going to be asleep. So hopefully you've got a NOAA weather radio. Leave that on before you go to bed Saturday night. And of course, we want you to download our WJTV news and weather apps from the App Store. Now, with the news app, if we have to go wall to wall with streaming coverage, you can watch us there on the news app. And with the weather app, you can get those warnings delivered directly to you when they are issued. So again, multiple ways to get warnings when a severe weather event is imminent. So here's a look at the timing of this as we go through the overnight. What about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning? It could be moving through the metro, and by daybreak Sunday, we're still going to be dealing with this, but it's going to be east of Jackson. So the Pine Belt, our eastern counties, even as the sun is coming up Sunday. So it's going to be a long night, Saturday night going into Sunday morning. I do think most of the storms are going to weaken as they head eastward into Alabama, and they should be done by noon, by lunchtime on your Sunday, and we are generally going to be seeing improving weather conditions as we go through the day Sunday. So your go time is really midnight to about, let's say, noon on Sunday, the first half of the day on your Sunday. Now, Saturday night through daybreak Sunday, there's going to be a level 1 to 2 out of 5 risk of severe weather, and you see the area there, mostly south and west of Jackson, with the highest risk in places like Pike, Franklin, Jefferson, Adams, Wilkinson, and Amite counties. This is where, if we get an isolated tornado, that's likely where it is going to be. I think the tornado threat is going to be higher in southeast Texas, South Louisiana, but we cannot rule that out in extreme South Mississippi either. That is a low-end threat. So the threat of tornadoes is low, but it's not zero. The higher risk for more of us will be the potential for flash flooding because of several inches of rain in a relatively short amount of time and potentially strong damaging winds coming from that squall line, straight line winds of 60 miles per hour or better. And of course, there could be some large hail up to about quarter in size, maybe a little bit bigger, but number one threat, flash flooding. Number two, damaging winds. I would say after that, the tornado threat, and then the hail. All right, here's a look at how much rain we're expecting before the weekend is out. On average, 2 to 3 inches, but some spots could pick up more than that, especially if you live west of us or south of Jackson. 4 inches, maybe even up to 5 inches of rain, not out of the question. So there is a flash flooding threat, mainly over the western part of the state, but even east Mississippi is going to see at least a marginal risk of flash flooding. All right, your 5-day rain forecast. Spotty showers during the day Saturday, Sunday, that's going to be the worst of it. But again, it should be over by midday. And then some lingering showers, about a 20% chance of rain Monday, Tuesday. And then a front's going to come through, let's say late Tuesday, early Wednesday. And that's going to clear us out and cool us down for the rest of the week. So by the time we get to Halloween, it is actually going to be really chilly. It's going to be some of the coldest air so far this month and this season. Meanwhile, we've been talking about Tropical Storm Melissa in the Caribbean for the past couple of days. Still a tropical storm, but she is now finally getting stronger. And over the weekend, it's going to explode. Category 1, 2, 3, and then 4 before it reaches Jamaica. And unfortunately, it's going to be hanging around Jamaica for 2 or 3 days, battering that island with major hurricane winds. This model has it, the official forecast has it going over Jamaica. It could miss it to the east or to the west. Doesn't really matter. It's going to be close enough that they're going to see a really bad storm for a couple of days there. Then after it moves through Jamaica, it is going to accelerate off to the northeast. It'll move through Cuba and the Bahamas and then out to sea. So as predicted, it is not going to get into the Gulf, and it is not going to be an issue for us. Even though it's close to home, we are not going to have to deal with this. Unfortunately, the folks in Jamaica, it's going to be a bad couple of days for them. All right, your forecast for tonight, mostly cloudy, mid-50s. We're going to see a southeast wind, which is going to pick up during the day tomorrow, so it's going to be breezy and warm even with the lack of sunshine. Could be some limited sun in the morning, but the clouds and those scattered showers are going to take over in the afternoon and evening hours. The high temperature near 80 degrees. Stormy Sunday, especially early in the day. And then we get those spotty showers Monday, Tuesday. Now notice, not really a big cool down, a little bit of a cool down. I mean, we're going to be close to 80 before the storms come in, and then mostly in the low 70s afterwards, early next week. But then that next front is going to blow through Tuesday night into Wednesday, and notice how temperatures go down another notch or so. So we're looking at highs in the 60s from Wednesday through Saturday. Lows are going to be dipping into the 40s, even cooler than we saw earlier this week. I believe we got down to 45 for a couple mornings. Well, by the time we get to Friday morning, it'll be 44. Saturday morning, the day after Halloween, we're down to about 43 degrees on the first day of November. So for trick-or-treaters, no storms. We don't have to worry about that, but it is going to be chilly after the sun goes down Friday night. I mean, the high temperature is going to be 65, but as soon as the sun goes down, we're immediately going to drop into the 50s and then cool back to the 40s later into the evening. So those costumes, if they're going to be outside, especially late Friday night, they're going to need to be warm costumes because it is going to be chilly out there. All right, that's your forecast for this evening. Of course, we're going to have you covered over the weekend if we get that severe weather. Meteorologist Austin Powell and Megan Hanna are going to be here with you Saturday night through Sunday morning. I'm going to be here through the day Saturday, and then Austin and Roberto will be here through the day on your Sunday. So we got you covered. We will continue to post updates about this developing situation as we go through the weekend. So continue to watch these spaces where you are getting your forecast from WJTV. And then go to X and Facebook and look me up, Ken South WJTV. Give me a follow there, and you'll be able to get post about the impending storm, not only for this weekend, but of course, as we get deeper into severe weather season. Usually severe weather season, November. Of course, we're getting close to November, and then our big spring severe weather season is usually about February through May. All right, that's going to be it for tonight. I will be back tomorrow with your next update Saturday, and then again, Austin and Megan will be here late Saturday night. All right, be safe this weekend.